Loganholme down to this little stinky spot here to try and trap some more swordtails. There's all swordtails in there, and last time I hung the trap on a string to encourage the swordtails to go into the funnels, because placing this on the bottom in the murky depths there, they weren't interested in that at all. So what I've done is I've made a new, oh look, I found a piece of something that I left here last week. I've made, or not made, but I've got, I'll just put you up here. I've got a couple of pieces of very noisy here. A couple of pieces of pool noodle. Which will make the trap float instead of messing around with the string and all that kind of stuff. This is my old trap that got attacked. It got attacked by an eel, and this is not really a very good trap anymore. It's got some holes in it. I've got chats with Vegemite and nutritional yeast. They love, everything loves nutritional yeast. And that can go in there, and just a little sprinkle in there. I'll drop this in. I really should wait for the traffic to pass. Alright, so I'll drop this in. Am I there? Here I am. And we'll see what happens here. Okay, I hope you got all that pretty good. What I've done is I put my trap in, and this is my little modification where that trap will now float around and hopefully attract the fish from the surface. I've put my other trap just in this little lagoon down from the culvert up on the freeway there. It's got the same bait, just the chats with Vegemite and nutritional yeast. That seems to be a really good fail-safe. I'll get most things on that. Okay, now what I'm doing here is just, I'm just waiting to let the fish go off, go into the trap up there. Okay, I'm back at the top. I'm ready to pull in my trap. It's exactly where I left it, because there's no real current here anyway to take it away. But anyway, I'll set you up here. I've got my bucket of water. I'll open the trap and see if we get all those sorties. only got 2 males. I'll drop that back in. Mustn't be very good after the rain. I don't know where they went, but anyway, I actually couldn't see the movement on the water like I did last time. I don't know why this is. It was probably 20 minutes. I've just realized something. My bait is not touching the water. It's sitting up there in the air. So all right, I'm going to reconfigure this a little bit. I've got a little perforated pouch. I'll put the bait into there, put it on the bottom. Okay, lucky I've got some left. Okay, see you soon. Oh, that was pretty silly of me. I'll put the bait down in the bottom. I forgot to bring that little pouch anyway. So let's have a go at actually attracting them with a bit of bait. So I'll put you there. Alright, there it is. Happily floating there. Let's see if that will work. That was just a teething problem. I just didn't think yeah, it never entered my mind that the bait wasn't actually hardly even touching the water. Alright, there we go. I'm going back down to the other trap. Okay, I'll just put you on I've got my little bucket there with some water in. I'll put you up here. There's a little rocky bank here, which is good for getting in and out of. If you just don't slip, I've got some scars on my ankle from where I did slip in there one day. Okay, see how we went. All right, we've got a lot of fish in here. Probably the most I've caught in this little spot. There was only a couple last time. All right, yes, okay, let's have a look at the sorties. Maybe they've all come down here. Maybe they went with the water and came down with the rain. Let's check on you. Still looking, yes. All right, in the water you guys go. Sword, sword, sword. Okay, so in case I don't show it, this is the second attempt at pulling the floating trap. Last time, just before, oh, there it is. I thought it was gone. Before, I didn't have the bait, it was up in the bait pocket and it wasn't really touching, it was only just touching the surface of the water a little bit, so that wouldn't have, that didn't have its full potential. So I'll pull it up in a sec. I can't see the little schools that were here on my last visit, but I did, however, I did get 2 males. So I'll just set you up here, I'll pull this up and see what we get. Yeah, this is what I was expecting. Okay, so straight in the bucket they'll go. right, have a look in there. Got myself a little bonus, which I will be putting it back. Oh, sorry, dude. There he is, a little turtle. Okay, I'll get him out and I'll show him to you. Now, this is a benefit of having a floating trap, because these little turtles breathe air, and in this case, he can't drown. If you have this trap submerged and a little tiny turtle like this one gets in, now mind you, it is only a 50mm hole. He managed to get himself in there, but at the very least, he can breathe. He can put his head up out of water. So he's going back. I'm not interested in taking anything like this. I don't want a pet turtle. So here he comes. I'll show him to you. Look at this little fella. There he is. Okay, we'll put him back. It's your lucky day, little fella. Okay, it's very dodgy here on the edge. All right, in you go. There he is. There he goes. Okay, back downstream from the highway. The trap I've put in one last time. That's 2 times. 2 times for there, 2 times for up near the freeway. You'll see what I got up there at the freeway. That was interesting. So I'll set you up again. Something's biting me, but you know, it's what happens when you're out here in the wilderness. Wilderness. We're right next to the freeway in the wilderness. Okay, how did we do? Alright, we've got more. Now so far today it's just been swordtails. Everything was fish-wise has been swordtails. So did I get a gudgeon? I'll show you in here quickly. I don't even think there's a gudgeon in there. I'll go through them. Hang on. Okay, that's better. All right, let's get these swords out of here. That's Vegemite on the hanging. There are some big girls in here. They do like to flip out a fair bit. I don't blame them for that. So now I've got to find where that one went. Oh, there it is. There it is. Alright, there we are. That was about 30 swordtails. Easily, that's could be more. So that's me doing my little bit of biosecurity to give our natives a chance. There are areas where certain Australian natives have become extinct. It doesn't mean that they are extinct in other places, but certain areas where they used to be, they're no longer there because of things like these swords. Now I know I've said this before, I'll never get them all, we all won't get them all, but we're at least going to give our natives a bit of a fighting chance, because these will take over. So next time, with my floating trap, which was successful if you set it up properly, I'd like to find a little culvert, little polluted culvert, where I can see Gambusia everywhere. And if I can catch those with a floating trap, it'll be so much easier. All right, cheers. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.